Breaking news, the US just took over Venezuela. This was in the December-January predictions, the rulership handover, sitting next to the military card. So I have some questions. How does the Venezuelan military feel about this situation? Who are they backing? What's the energy around the VP? And is there more to this behind the scenes, or is it all just about the oil? This is a quick reading, just what's on the headlines. Let's see what the cards reveal today. Today I'll be using my Stardust Shadows Tarot as well as my Governance Oracle. Let's get into the reading. So the first question, as I'm shuffling, the Venezuela military has historically been the decisive force in moments of political crisis in Venezuela. So the real question here that I want to know is, where does the military's loyalty actually lie? Is it with Vice President Delcy Rodríguez? Is it with Maduro? Or is it with the US takeover? How will their allegiance shape what happens next? Military control. I think the US are trying to keep it under wraps, where the loyalties actually lie for the Venezuelan military. Let's break the questions down for this one. Persuasion of power. Maybe until they can persuade the military to back them. First question here with the military. Now the military was in the December. I'm going to link the January predictions at the end of this reading, but you'll see next to rulership handover was a military card. So this is why this is a very important part or key to this takeover. So first of all, the military, where do their loyalties lie? Is it with the VP? No. Are their loyalties with Maduro? The Venezuelan military, are their loyalties with Maduro? Interesting, stepping down. They are very interesting cards for the militaries. Will they go to war or in favor of war because of the stepping down of Maduro? Or will they make the deal? So I think some things are being kept classified under wraps when it comes to the Venezuelan military until a deal can be secured. Now, I just want to be sure, was the deal already made? With an external country, you see all the flags here, an external country, that's the US. Did the military already make a deal with the US? Maybe it's to do with economic challenges. And policy overhaul. With the tyrannical leadership. So let's break this down by asking, currently, is the Venezuelan military's loyalties lie with the US takeover? Cards are indicating that there's something misleading about the question that I just asked. Please note that I know nothing about Venezuelan politics or the military, and sometimes I prefer to read that way, so it's not influenced by my personal opinion. The cards are trying to reveal a very interesting line of questioning here. They are indicating that the way that I've phrased this question is misleading. Misleading question. Okay, misleading headlines. No, misleading headlines being the way it's being posed in the mainstream media. When it comes to the Venezuelan military. Okay, so the question here is, are the Venezuelan military in favor of a power shift, a falling from grace for Maduro? Yes. Thank you. Was the deal already made? We saw the deal card. Was the deal already made before the takeover? There was a deal posed, or there was something already in process? It says yes, but I think talks had already started. What is it that is misleading here? My question was, do the military support the US takeover? Do the majority of the military support the US takeover? They're not saying yes to that. This is why this is a misleading question. So I'm going to rephrase that question. Do the military, the Venezuelan military, support the power shift or the falling from grace of Maduro? Yes. Yes. So it's not about the US takeover that they support. It's the tyrannical leadership, the power shift, the falling of grace. Let's move on to the next question. Let's do one from the tarot. Is there something that you want to indicate here around the military? This is a knight. This is a military card. A knight, this is executing orders. Given the orders by higher ups, the military, on board to execute those orders. Somebody escapes unseen or disappears. The next question here is, let's get into the energy of the VP. Now, this is the vice president's role. Venezuela's vice president, Delcy Rodríguez, publicly demanded that Maduro be reinstated as the country's rightful leader. On the news this morning, the US was indicating, according to the media, that they had the support. They were supporting the VP, and almost sounding like they had some kind of deal organised. And then half an hour later, the VP comes out and says that Maduro needs to be reinstated. So was Rodriguez genuinely aligned with Maduro from the beginning? Or has she been pressured, compromised, or strategically positioning herself in response to the US takeover? Was she really put in place by the US, as Trump suggested, or is she resisting the narrative? So let's break this down. Has Rodriguez always been aligned to Maduro? I have to pull this card out. Controlled speech. She is being controlled what to say. So here this aligns to being pressured, compromised, or strategically positioning herself in this situation, perhaps by military control. Perhaps is it the military that is pressuring her response? Yes, that's another military card. Do the military support the rulership or leadership from the VP? Do the military support Delcy Rodríguez? They want things to stay put, but there's a shadow operation that is going on. About a trusted advisor. Retaining authority. I'm going to put that one in as well. This was on the bottom of the deck. I just find it interesting. Is this Maduro and Rodriguez? So let's see what the rods have to say about the cards on the table. Do the military support Delcy Rodriguez? That's a yes. Do the military want Maduro to stay in rulership? Retain authority? Do the military want Maduro to retain authority? Again, I need to ask that differently. Do the majority of the military want Maduro to retain? No, that's a no. But it's not everybody. There's a shadow operation at play here. Is that connected to the Venezuelan military? I'm actually hearing a no before the rod said no. The shadow operation, is that a foreign advisor or a foreign country shadow operation? Okay, I changed the question with the yes. This is energy. This reading is energy of VP Delcy Rodriguez. Does she truly want Maduro to retain authority? Yes. But there has been some pressure. Yes. Is there unresolvable differences to do with Maduro? Yes. Alignment. Authority alignment. So she can still be controlled as to what she's saying. Yes. But also has to position herself strategically. Yes. So it's where her alignment is. although she's being controlled to say what she's saying, yes, she still has to strategically position herself. Yes. Did any of the pressure come from Maduro? Was she pressured to ask for him to be reinstated by Maduro's close faction? Yes, but it is something to do with her alignment. Yes. So at the moment, she's under scrutiny. I'm just going to read now what the cards are saying and what I'm picking up from Spirit, and the rods can do whatever they like. She's under scrutiny, almost controlled speech like we saw in the last card, to say what she said about, she believes or publicly demanded that Nicolas Maduro be reinstated as the country's rightful leader. She is being encouraged or pressured to say that, but she's also considering her own strategic alignment in what she believes is the right thing to do. Yes. So she believes that he should retain authority. Yes. But she's having to be very careful about how she says things and what she says, and that is why we had the controlled speech. Not quite. She's saying whatever she wants to say. Yes. Has she been pressured, though, in any way? There is pressure. There is pressure around her. Energetically, there's a pressure around her. Is the military aligned to Delcy Rodríguez? Yes. Remember, this is card reading, so use discernment. Release or let go. Again, we have that shadow ruler or advisor. So very similar cards to what we already saw on the table. Coins here can indicate money, but struggle if she strategically makes the wrong move, possibly letting go. And the final question here is, what are the real motives behind the US takeover? What are the real motives behind the US takeover? They want a succession plan. I seem to be saying that the succession plan was always the agenda, because they're looking for somebody that's going to be more aligned to assist them with the shadow rulership. This could be the US, or it could be whoever's standing in line waiting. It all comes back to economics. It comes back to money. It comes back to oil. And trying to find somebody that's more aligned to the US, to shadow rulers. It comes back to money, power, easily bought. But there's definitely something here that's hidden and covert that they're not letting us know. So it is oil, it is money, it is about the succession plan. But they're looking for someone to be more aligned with shadow rulership. Thank you for watching this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.